I want to talk about SHTF, and in a bad situation like that, you can't possibly save everybody. And I hate thinking about this, but figured I'd kind of break the ice and open up this conversation with you guys, and tell you kind of what my take is on this and how it's evolved over the years. So I used to think, when I first got into prepping and putting together a get-home bag and a bug-out bag and my whole, overall preparedness plan, I had this thought. And the background for this, if I back up, is I live in Massachusetts, south of Boston. Most of my family lives in New York, Long Island, and some are in New Jersey, okay? So they're pretty far. It's a 4-hour drive, minimum, to any of my family from here. And this is a much better spot in a disaster than New York is, where they are at least, I believe. But it just stinks that I'm here by myself. I've got friends here and stuff, but Shannon's family's in Michigan, mine's in New York and New Jersey. So I used to have this fantasy that if something bad happens, economic collapse or EMP or whatever, and you're stuck having to fend for ourselves at home, we might eventually need to bug out, but we try to stick it out at home because all your stuff is at your house, guys. There's a big case to be made for bugging in. But in a bug-in situation, after the first 3 days, people are going to start going crazy, and that's when the marauding and the fighting and the shootings start, and people stealing stuff and breaking into houses and looting businesses and all that start. So, I figure I've got 3 days to batten down the hatches, make sure everything's in order at the house. And I used to think, okay, well then I'll leave my son with people that I can trust, and I'll go to New York. I'll walk to New York, kayak across Long Island Sound, grab my parents, grab my sister if I can, grab my cousins, aunts and uncles, friends, and we'll all head back up here. And they'll be my team, and I can take care of them. And the more I thought about this, I was like, yeah, it would be hard. I don't know if I can do it, but I feel like I'd have to. I feel a duty to them that I'd have to. The more I think about it, I've got 2 kids now. When Shannon and I get married, her son Evan will be my stepson, and so we'll have 3 boys. And I've come to the realization, probably right around when my 2-year-old, almost 2, Cole, was born, that if something bad happens, I ain't going anywhere. I can't. There has to be a hierarchy of who I take care of, and I hate saying this, especially because some of my patrons are family and friends, but I have to put this out there. I have to say it, and I hope everybody understands. I think they will, that your kids have to always come first. And I'm really thick-headed. It took me a long time to figure that out. But if something bad happens, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying home. I am the number one thing between my kids and anything bad happening to them. And I'll die before anything happens to them. And I mean that for real. Just like I know any parent feels that way. So, yeah, unless there's something immediately life-threatening that I thought it definitely wasn't safe to have the kids there, we'd stay at the house. We'd only bug out if I felt, and Shannon felt, we agreed that it wasn't safe there, that we had a better chance bugging out. So everyone's got to have this hierarchy, and your children and your immediate family need to come first with this. Don't get me wrong, I want all my relatives and all my friends, my whole family, I want them all to be on my bug out team, my preparedness team, but that's just not going to happen. Realistically, in the real world, a lot of people, they're not into this. They don't get it. They don't think anything bad. Most people have this normalcy bias thing going on. Look that up, normalcy bias. They have this thing going on in their head that nothing ever bad has happened to them or to anybody they know or in their region, so they don't think it's ever going to happen. Like, nothing will happen. If it happens, I'll be okay. Not really. No. First of all, no. Second of all, no. not going to be okay, and eventually something will happen. So you need to wake up, and you need to prepare now, okay? I've tried to be subtle. I don't like hitting people over the head with things because it just turns them off with this. I've tried just having blatant conversations, and usually just get shut down. Oh, that'll never happen, blah, 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 all the same stuff usually. And then I get, this is my favorite, as something bad happens, I'm going to come to your house. Because, again, my first responsibility is to my children, and I'm not going to feed you if it means taking food out of their mouths. That's the thing. That's why I try to tell people, you need to get prepared now. You've got to store food now, because I can't help everybody. I can't save everybody. I'm not Superman. I just can't do it. And I've got to work. I've got to work on my plan continuously to protect and to care for my family, my children and Shannon. And that's the way it's got to be. So I am trying desperately, in subtle ways, subtle hints, to get as many family and friends on board with this thing as I can, because I love you guys, and I want to protect you. You know, I've made posts on Facebook. You guys saw it when I announced my Patreon. You know, please become a patron. I'm saying this because I love you. You know, support me, but I'm going to teach you some awesome stuff, how to protect your family, how to care for your family. And but the more people that I can get that get it and will look themselves in the mirror and say, if something bad did happen, I'm not prepared, then I don't have to worry about you. You can take care of yourself, take care of your family. Then, if you're prepared, if you want to talk about more of a plan, if something happens, you're going to come here, but now you've got skills, now you've got your own stuff. Now we have something to talk about. We have a lot more to discuss now. But all these people, even people that I work with, like when I go to a library, for example, I do a lot of survival programs where I travel to a library and I work with either adults, or I do a lot with the teens. And I've had librarians and other adults that I've met be like, oh, if something bad happens, I'm coming to find you. First of all, you're not going to be able to find me, probably. Second of all, how are you going to get there? Third of all, even if you got there, I don't know if I'm helping you. So, I mean, like, things are cool now because everything's good now, but if I feel like you're showing up and you're a threat to my family, it's a non-starter. It's a no-go. Someone's having a bad time. So, anyways, let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Thank you guys all for being patrons. I love all of you. A lot of you are friends that I've known a very long time, especially one of you. I owe somebody a shout out. This is going to be my first Patreon shout out. This is my shout out to my buddy Nick. Nick and I grew up together. We met in middle school, and we got into so much trouble together. He and I, not going to tell you what we did, but we got into a lot of trouble. We had a lot of fun though. So this is my shout out to Nick. Thank you so much for helping support me, man. And we're going to have to come up with some specific videos for you and a few other people that I know live in or near the city. So thanks again for watching, guys. Please comment, chime in, let me know what you think, and I'll see you again soon.